Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So, after that very informative panel discussion, we now have a very important message from Mr. Mohammad Ali Ahmed, who is the Deputy Managing Director at EFU Life Assurance. Let us welcome him.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning, everyone. I would like to thank the CXO Forum for organizing this InsurTech Summit over the next 1.5 days and for having me as one of the speakers to share my thoughts. I would like to cover the concept of InsurTech and the enabling power that it can provide to the insurance sector in terms of reaching out to millions of customers. And the topic I'm going to talk about is how we can get to the next 10 million potential customers for insurance. So let me start by this concept of, or this comparison of reach versus richness. And I believe that InsurTech can actually help the insurance sector cover both these aspects. So what I mean by reach is how we as a sector can reach out to millions of potential customers. InsurTech can provide us the power, already is providing us the power to do that. But on the other side, how we can create richness in the relationship, depth in the relationship, by offering services, by creating or exceeding the expectations of customers throughout the various points of the customer journey, and eventually helping them understand the benefits of insurance in greater detail, and finally graduating them to the next level in terms of the insurance products. So while reach helps us to reach out to millions of customers and focusing primarily on a transactional nature of a relationship, but still having a undeniable social impact, at the same time, richness helps us to strengthen the relationship and then they create that belief that insurance can actually make a difference in the life of an individual and his family. So over the next few slides, I will be either directly or indirectly covering these two particular aspects and how InsurTech can help us. So before going into further details, let's just have a look at globally the kind of funding that is pouring into the InsurTech domain. And based on a McKinsey research, the expectation for 2021 is that more than 8 billion euros are going to be pumped into the InsurTech sector. And primarily, if you look at these the pie charts here, you will see that it's a significant part, 66%, is actually going to be funded or already has been funded into health insurance. And I think that also probably relates to what's happened in 2020 in terms of COVID-19 and the enhanced focus of generally an individual on his health and using health services like telemedicine, teledoctor, and InsurTech, obviously, a lot of you would know already has a role to play there. Life insurance also has an impact in terms of InsurTech's focus, but primarily, as you can see, it's health insurance driven. Also, in terms of customer segments, we see that personal lines and corporate segments are the two where the funding for InsurTech has really come in, but also the SME sector, the small and medium enterprise sector. And I will touch upon that more in the context of microfinance and microinsurance later on in my presentation. So looking at the canvas that we are playing in, which is the population of the country, Pakistan, more than 220 million individuals. And roughly this is how these if we split it by the socioeconomic segments, this is how the population is split. So still we have a very large segment, which is the vulnerable segment, the bottom of the pyramid, as we call them. We have about 30% in the middle income class, and then you have about 6 or 7% in the top upper middle and the privileged class. And the insurance sector primarily has been, over the last 3 decades, has been focusing on the upper part of this pyramid. It's only very recently in the last decade or so, with microfinance, I would say, graduating to the next level with other catalysts and enablers available in the market, such as mobile wallets. The telcos have ventured into financial services. Also, in terms of the penetration of branchless banking, I think all of that has helped in terms of the insurers trying to now focus on the lower part of this pyramid as well. And when I talk about the potential of InsurTech to help us cater to the needs of these customers, I think this is an area where insurers going forward will continue to focus on. The financial indicators, a lot of these are already known to most of you, and I think over the next 1.5 days, some of these are going to be touched upon in more detail. But the general conclusion is that we are, as a country, significantly financially excluded in terms of whether bank accounts or even after the mobile money accounts have made an impact. I think the active accounts are still on the lower side. So generally, we have the segments which are formally served and we have the segments which are informally served. But broadly, we still remain a significantly financially excluded country, and hence the opportunity is still there to bring in products and services which can bring more of a lot more of these individuals into the financial net. At the same time, Pakistan is one of those countries in the developing regions where a significant population actually has a SIM and a mobile connection, touching almost 90% of our population. And this actually gives us, I would say, a significant platform to reach out to millions of customers, effectively the entire potential population of the country. And in a way, the telecommunication companies, through this significant mobile density, have actually laid the highway and the roads for the insurance sector to actually now bring in their services and reach out to these customers. Also, not only in terms of products and services, but also probably to start with to create the general level of awareness, which is much needed. And that is one of the factors where, because of which insurance penetration is low in the country. Also, in terms of reaching out to the younger segment, the millennials and the Gen Zs, the mobile, probably, I think the mobile phone connection is the one particular significant and probably the single source of actually talking to these individuals. If we slice our customer segment, there are various ways of doing it. Some of these are what I've mentioned here: the demographic slicing, the socioeconomic classes, as you saw earlier, and also in terms of digital readiness, whether we are going to be talking and offering our services and products to the digital immigrants, or is it digital natives, the younger segment of the population. So unless an insurer is very clear on what the target segment is, the product offering and the services will need to follow that. This is an important slide to actually indicate that what are the areas where InsurTech has made an impact globally. And this is, I would say, also true to quite an extent for Pakistan as well. So as you can see, in terms of distribution is probably the key area where, whether it is general insurance, whether it is health insurance, whether it is life insurance, InsurTech has actually made the most impact on the distribution side. And distribution, when I say distribution, is actually reaching out to the masses and the customers with the message of insurance. The other areas is product development, marketing and awareness is another area where InsurTech has played its role. And also the highlighted bit, the claims part. Not much in Pakistan, I would say, but globally, InsurTech has actually made claims intimation, claim payments, claim monitoring, fraud detection easier through the power of InsurTech. I think Pakistan still needs a few years to reach that stage. So giving you an overview of insurance in very simple terms, we are a significantly underinsured country and underinsured population with an insurance penetration of only 0.5% of GDP. The insured population in terms of size is anywhere between 40 to 50 million. We don't really have statistics in the country to confirm these numbers, but it all depends whether you take the government-sponsored social schemes into the count or not, but it's about 40 to 50 million individuals. And the market potential is still in excess of 100 million. These are people who have genuine needs for social protection, genuine needs for health insurance, for life insurance, but they have not been tapped, or even if they have been tapped, probably the right product and solution has not been offered to them. So coming to the general role of InsurTech in the certain areas in which it can actually make an impact, product development is one where the pricing could be very, very specific to the segment to which the product is being offered to. The product differentiation and the pricing differentiation occurs because of that. Speed to market is another area where technology can support in terms of taking out or offering simplified products to a large segment of the population. Analytics and diagnostic tools, especially like telematics, more so for the general insurance side. I think these are areas which can help in product development. As we saw earlier, the outreach and the distribution is probably the key area where InsurTech globally has played a role. And for Pakistan also, and for developing countries like us in this region, I think being able to reach out to untapped segments and demographics is the key where the power of InsurTech has to be leveraged. Underwriting and risk assessment is another area, especially if you're going to go out to masses, then the products and the processes need to be such that we can have a straight through processing. Real-time information available on the various risks so that the pricing can be dynamic. The analytics can play a significant role. And I think in terms of efficiency and cost saving, automated workflows and rules engine can actually play a significant part, and already are globally, and Pakistan, I think, is also catching up on that. The importance of data is something that cannot be denied, and I think throughout the value chain and the benefits of InsurTech, data-driven decision making is something that will benefit all of these potential areas that I've mentioned. Customer service, which can include right from the point the customer has been acquired, the whole journey of the customer effectively, right from the point of offering the insurance policy terms and conditions, which can be digital, to reminding for payment of premiums. Again, it has to be paperless, automated billing with multiple payment options, automated premium payments through either the airtime or through either the wallets, for example, or even the conventional bank accounts, and availability of policy details through technology. Also, the RPA, the robotic process automation, has already been implemented in Pakistan in a number of companies, in a number of sectors. And in the insurance sector, I think this is catching up, again, with the intent of bringing efficiency and cost saving, and also optimizing the processes. And also chatbots in terms of real time taking care of the needs of the customers, whether it is a sophisticated savings oriented medium to long term product or even a simple protection based product. Claims is one area where I believe there is significant room in terms of what InsurTech can do, right from connecting the insurance company to the government death registry, something that Pakistan can definitely look at doing, enabling submission of digital claim documents, real-time monitoring of claims, digital claim payments into the bank accounts directly or into the wallets of individuals. Also, in terms of fraud detection, I think the analytics are very important to help insurance companies detect frauds and hence improve their overall claim experience and offer better services to customers. Awareness and education is another area where I believe InsurTech, the power of InsurTech can be used, especially in terms of educating individuals about the importance and the benefit of insurance to that individual and to his family, but also in terms of the various checkpoints that may occur during the journey of the customer with an insurance company, whether it is claims, whether it's documentation, whether it is payment of premium. And then again, all the analytics that are collected can actually help in terms of the awareness. At the same time, regulatory oversight, I think, is another area where compliance and risk management is an area where the regulator can unleash the power of InsurTech. And eventually, corporate governance and speed, agility, and the analytics can be used to better govern the insurance industry, to provide opportunities for development and growth as well. Now, having said all of this is probably not relevant to Pakistan right now. It could be relevant in the next 3 to 5 years, but as of now, in my opinion, InsurTechs, if I were to pick one single area where the power of InsurTech can actually be sort of used, that is to open up new markets and segments. And the outreach is what I think the insurers need to focus on right now. Uh, on their own, organically grown distribution channels cannot provide an outreach to millions of individuals across Pakistan. Something that InsurTech, in collaboration with relevant partners, appropriate partners, can help insurers achieve. So I believe bringing insurance solutions to demographics that until now have not been able to access traditional financial services, including insurance. And it's all about making a start. It's all about offering a solution through which an individual can actually make a start towards protecting himself and his family through insurance solutions. And then once the reach has been achieved, the next step is the richness. And that's where graduating to the next level of deeper insurance solutions, more sophisticated insurance solutions, it's all part of the journey of how a customer actually enters the insurance domain and then graduates to the various next levels, and perhaps also on awareness and education. So if I were to pick up one particular area, I would say that the outreach that InsurTech can provide to insurers is something that will take us forward in the next 3 to 5 years, along with some of the other things I mentioned, like the customer experience, the customer journey, payment solutions, and claims, most probably. So if we look at Pakistan, some of the examples, I'm sure over the next 1.5 days, a lot more examples will be covered, case studies will be covered by the panelists and the speakers. But just to pick a few of them, which are probably more relevant in the current times, uh, the government of Pakistan provided social benefits, including health insurance, I think is one area where which is an enabler for mass insurance for the insurers. Already about 8 million families have been insured under the government of Pakistan's Sehat Sahulat program. And eventually, the use of technology, the use of mobile apps for the general population to actually monitor the healthcare that is being offered to them and the utilization of healthcare is something that I believe is going to catch on in the next few years. Also, for the insurers, for such a large scheme, the InsurTech is going to help them analyze claims in terms of predicting claims, in terms of pricing, better pricing based on claims experience, and all the huge data that's being collected from the behavior of these 8 million families, I think is going to be a significant game changer going forward in terms of analytics, at least. We've also seen over the last 5 years or so that about 40 or more prominent fintechs and insurtech entities have actually emerged in Pakistan. A lot of them have got attention by international investors. A lot of them have made inroads in terms of engaging with various other sectors like banking and insurance, also the retail sector. And given that these startups and these fintechs and insurtechs are mushrooming on a continuous basis, I believe that the insurance sector needs to engage with them to identify the pain points and let these insurtechs actually come up with solutions which can cover the pain points. And I think one of the pain points that we have as an industry is adequate premium collection mechanisms, a backbone through which premiums can be collected and probably not rely just on bank accounts, but other means. We already have an example coming to the third point, which is about the telcos and the telecommunication companies. And we have the example of Bima in Pakistan, where they have about 4 to 5 million enrolled customers providing basic level insurance, but along with that, also providing telemedicine and telehealth services. And as I was talking about, mentioning the premium collection mechanism. So deducting premium from the airtime, the mobile airtime of customers is a model that Pakistan has seen success in, at least through this one example. And again, here also, the power of InsurTech is being used to create a good experience for customers who are enrolled through Bima. Microfinance is one other area which in the last decade, I believe, has gone to the next level in terms of efficiency in processes, in terms of automation, in terms of uh, providing more products and services to customers. And I think the Pakistan Microfinance Network has done a tremendous job here. And the 50 odd uh, uh, the members of the PMN, I think gradually, slowly and gradually, the automation and technology use is being is actually having an impact there. And the PMN with its digital platform, I think, will be in a position to offer technology-driven solutions to its clients, including insurance, I believe, going into the future. If you look at the microfinance customers, touching about 8 million policyholders for insurance, various kinds of insurance solutions already are there. And I believe just through the microfinance sector and the use of technology there and the collaboration of insurers, it has the power to actually bridge this gap of another 10 million customers in terms of bringing basic level insurance solutions to them. So if we were to summarize the recipe for the next 10 million customers, how are we going to, as an insurance sector, reach to this level of customers? I think the first and the foremost needs to be the focus on partnerships. Insurers alone cannot do it. We do not have the infrastructure to reach out to millions of customers, millions of potential customers. And reaching out to them is one thing, but reaching out to them in a cost-efficient way is probably what needs to be focused upon. And I think that's where partnership with entities which have a mass level penetration for goods and services and leveraging on their existing relationships, such as telecommunication companies. I think the good thing in the last 5 to 7 years has been that the telcos have focused on financial services and provision of financial services. And the prominent telcos, for example, like Jazz and Telenor and also Ufone, they also have a financial services arm within their large group as a bank, and they're able to provide branches banking solutions through that. So if the insurers are able to partner with telcos and with branches banks, suddenly you have access to potentially over 100 million customers. So a partnership focused business model is what I think is going to take us into the future. Also, I believe a pure digital model, Pakistan is still not ready for it. These are a few steps we have to take one by one into the next 5 to 10 years. A lot of enablers have been created right now, and a lot of baby steps are being taken. But I think going on a pure digital model for any part of the customer journey will not work. So it probably has to be what we call a phygital model, a physical and a digital collaboration. And as an example, perhaps using the call center to acquire customers, to bring them on board, but then using digitalization for the remaining part of the customer journey to actually create the richness and depth in the relationship. I think that's probably the way to go for the next few years until we are at a stage where a pure digital model can actually work from end to end. Also, wallets is one other example where perhaps if the acquisition is still not digital, but the remaining part of the customer experience is something that is paperless. And for insurance, I think the key aspects are premium collection, which can be done through wallets, and also claim disbursement back into the wallet. So I think a phygital model, physical plus digital, is the way to go for the next 3 to 5 years until we learn enough to go in. And we also have enablers on ground which can help us go into a pure digital model. Customer segmentation is something that the insurers really need to focus on, because one model, one product for all customers, and especially if you're talking about 10 million, 20 million, 50 million potential customers, will probably not work. So if you're able to find segments, if we're able to find the behavior of certain segments using analytics, and then design and price products accordingly, I think that's what's going to help the insurance sector move forward. The penetration and the hit rate in terms of customers actually opting into for insurance, I believe, will improve because the product offering has been customized according to the need and wants and aspirations of that segment. So customer segmentation, I believe, is an area where insurers need to put in more effort going into the future. And finally, claims and policy servicing. I've spoken about it. I think this is an area where there's a lot of room to bring in efficiency, to bring in automation, and to actually create a hassle-free experience for customers and their families. And real-time monitoring of the behavior of an individual, how is utilizing insurance, for example, health insurance, can give a lot of insights to the insurer and can help in pricing, better product features. Also, at the same time, creating a wow experience for the family of an individual by actually monitoring claims in real time and being more proactive in terms of how claims are handled at the insurance sector. Uh, Whether it is digital claim intimation or digital claim disbursement. I think these are areas where the insurance sector is already looking at, but we can further enhance our service menu by actually focusing significantly over these two areas. So, all in all, I believe if we pick out these four areas and focus on them as an industry, create partnerships, have the right partners, the right mindset with us. Uh, Reaching to the next 10 million in the next 3 to 5 years is not something which is difficult or not something which cannot be achieved. I think even if you're able to offer basic level of insurance services to these 10 million customers, we actually have a few million of these who will graduate into the next level of insurance solutions. So I believe the next 5 years, if you ask my opinion, are quite exciting in terms of the enablers which are already on the ground, in terms of a lot of work that the government and the regulators are doing. State Bank is especially in terms of creating payment platforms and payment backbone for the country, where a lot of ease is expected to come into the future. And then the insurance sector will be one of the sectors to leverage on those platforms. Along with that, the right product for the right segment and having the right partner on board, such as telecommunication companies, is what can actually help the insurance sector move into the future and have 10 million more potential customers in the next 3 to 5 years. So I'm looking forward to working with the various players, the various sectors, the various insurance players, our banking partners, our telecommunication partners, our service providers to actually reach this milestone of the next 10 million customers. Thank you so much, and it was a pleasure speaking on this platform. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, Mr. Mohammad Ali Ahmed, for sharing that valuable information with us. You are indeed a visionary, and you've shown us a very bright future into InsurTech. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're going to start our next session shortly, and that'll be the ending session. So please don't tune out yet.